right. Hello, and welcome back to the show. Legacy. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about legacy in business. What is yours? And are you ready to build and leave a legacy that lasts? And do you realize that your business is the vehicle for that? Today's guest, Elona Lopari, is a must-have business consultant for you to fire up your business game, strategy, and success. Welcome to Creatrix TV, where we curate a more beautiful world, starting with the relationship you have with yourself. I'm your host, Kat Moulton, coach, catalyst, and guide. I help you remember who you really are and take the action steps that are inspired to help you move forward to your dreams and desires. Today, I'm really excited to introduce you to business consultant and coach, Elona Lopari. She helps visionary leaders build a life and business in alignment with their purpose. Elona is known as the business catalyst, helping elite business owners become game changers in their field and achieve million-dollar breakthroughs in their business. She also helps them align their personal life and vision with their professional life. She is a former Fortune 500 executive who built and led record-breaking teams in over 20 locations around the US. Elona's programs and consulting encompass billion-dollar corporate strategies combined with the speed and agility of the most powerful online strategies of today. She's the CEO of the Life School, where she helps purpose-driven entrepreneurs and corporations with their branding, marketing, sales, systems, and teams so they can build legacy wealth in life and business, while also making massive impact and do more good in the world. She's the best-selling author of 3 different books, speaks on global stages where she passionately shares her message with the masses. Elona, I am so excited to have you here today because you so align with the feel of my vision. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you so much, Kat, for the beautiful introduction. And thank you so much for having me on your show. I'm looking forward to adding value to your audience today.
Oh, awesome. I'm excited to ask you a few questions and have you add that value. I wanted to start off by asking, because you have a wealth of business experience, why do you think business is one of the best vehicles to build and leave a legacy?
Well, with today's fast-changing world, it gives you the freedom and it gives you the limitless potential, which I didn't really find by being a corporate CEO, which was my past, I should say, my story of how I ventured out to entrepreneurship. We all, I mean, in the past, right, past generations, we kind of just got programmed and kind of you go to school, you get a degree, and then you get a high-paying job and, security, right? So, and I did that because I'm natively Albanian, and that was sort of what my parents also brought me here to the US to do, right? To go to school, get a high-paying job, have a family, have a white picket fence, 2 kids, be married, and you will live happily ever after. After I achieved all of that, I realized that, wait, there is more to life because I was feeling unfulfilled. I'm like, well, wait, from the outside, something's not adding up, because from the outside, I look successful, but from the inside, I had a lot of anxiety and turmoil and conflict, because at that phase and stage of my life, whatever I was doing was not aligning with my purpose. And I did not know that at the time. I did not articulate it that way. So just to go back to answer your question for my personal story, it is how I ventured out to entrepreneurship. I said, I don't want to do another 9-to-5, been there, done that. Let me see if I can bring all my skills and experience and start something on my own. My husband was a great catalyst for that change at that time, because he's been an entrepreneur for many years. He said, just try it out. You'll never know what you could discover or if you like it or not. And that's what I did. And I'm so glad I did, because what I've learned in this journey of being an entrepreneur for only 6 years and growing a pretty successful business is that I can now live on purpose. I can now do the things that I love and enjoy without someone telling me what to do and what tasks to focus on and what things I need to do with my life. And I could still be very growing and evolving daily. That happened to be one of the values that I discovered early on, that it was very important to me. I had to grow personally daily. So I needed to find something that was going to challenge me so that I did that inner work and that personal development, which I discovered that was really the the way for me to be a whole person, like a holistic to life and business, not only successful professionally, but also personally in all my relationships and all of that. So that is what I discovered, the channel of entrepreneurship. I can pick the projects I work on. I can grow the business the way I want to. I can select the clients I serve. I can select the audiences I serve, right? All of that. So once I learned more about it, that's kind of why I now am so passionate about helping entrepreneurs and corporations make the impact they're looking for, the positive impact, because with choosing entrepreneurship, you can stay in your talents, you can stay in your experience, you can stay in your artistry, and you can help other people. That was the biggest part. That was a big why for me, because you have to have a why, to go through all the growth that will come for you in any journey. I think not only business.
Right.
My bigger why was that, wait, I can also help people, like I can contribute to people. And I realized early on that, again, money was not was not going to make me happy, or the way that success was kind of laid out for me on the outside was not going to make me happy. And I realized the only way to be fulfilled, I had to contribute, not wanting to help other people. So that's why I say the channel of entrepreneurship is the perfect channel for your own growth, but also for the impact that you get to make with other people, because only you can serve people in the way you can. And we're all very authentic people or beings. So yeah, just to answer your question, I think that's why.
No, I love that. And I appreciate that. And there's a lot there. And, one of the things when I was reading on your website about you, one of the words that came up was like servant, like that servant leader, like almost like you lead from the heart, but with all of your passion and experience, and pull in the business and the personal. And I was going to ask you, but you kind of summed it up. Do you think though we are moving into an era or an age where that servant leadership really is becoming more important for people to not just lead and like do it my way, but come from a different space? You strike me as someone who brings that, embodies that. Maybe you can speak to it a little bit.
Yeah, I absolutely think we're heading in that direction, because through personal development and all this information we now have, and science backing up a lot of life principles that we kind of just probably knew, but I didn't have the articulation, let's say a couple of years back, to even talk about the same thing that I am like kind of articulating now. So I think humanity is raising their consciousness. We are understanding that there's so much more inside of us. A lot of us are trying to break generational things that no longer serve us. We have now new information to explore the world within. We understand there's a higher force. We understand that there's a journey we're all kind of brought to this life for. There's a bigger purpose, right? So our own paths are so individual and unique. So learning, I'm like a neuroscience freak, so I study that side. So just learning more about life, how life really works, and all of that. I think people are getting more information, which draws obviously more awareness, and that's where everything starts. The more aware we are, the more then we know that, wait a minute, there's more to things that I thought there were. So you just become more mindful. And I think mindfulness and being intentional with, the things that you do in your day-to-day will always lead you into the next right thing that is connected to your own individual path. So I've done my work with feminine energy and masculine energy, so to speak, because I came from the world of masculine energy. So I had to do a lot of, I had to tap into my creative, my feminine power, my leading from my soul rather than from my head, because I am naturally more of a logical person. So combining the two, I think it's really helpful in, again, being that holistic approach to things, and not going, about things the hard way, but working smart, and kind of just connecting dots and connecting with other humans, soul to soul is what I say. I have found that gives you results so much easier than kind of just the other way around, back to kind of what I had to unlearn and learn. I mean, a lot of the things serve you, right? Even the masculine
Yes.
energy things, like I'm an action taker, right? All of that is good because you got to take
Mhm.
action, right?
Right.
You got to learn the discipline of that. Everything, there's positives and negatives. Depends what
Mhm.
you do with it. Depends how you learn from the negatives and utilize the positives to help you with your life and business goals.
I loved how you summed that up because we do need both. And sometimes this pendulum swings too far the other way. Like you are really in your masculine, that logic, that action taking, and we absolutely need it. But you've gone the other way. You've played with, the feminine. You've done a lot of the embodiment work, it seems like. And how do you then work with people? I know you do soul to soul, and it sounds like you really see people for who they are. And they need to get in touch with that humanity piece, but they still need strategy, right? There needs to be a component of business strategy. How do you weave that in for your people or your clients? Because you have a really robust background.
Yeah, absolutely. So I always start with clarifying what's important to them, their own value, vision, and mission for their company, because especially if you're a service provider, it's who I specialize in. You are
Okay.
a business, right? You are the visionary. You provide a service, you build a brand, a personal brand first. People know you. People buy
Mhm.
from you because of the trust that you're going to build over time.
Yeah.
So I always start with what kind of business model is applicable or aligns with their life goals, values, vision, and
Mm.
mission. We're not all supposed to come to this world and just build massive businesses, right? Some of us are being called to do other type of work, right? So
Mhm.
as long as you understand that whatever phase of business and life you're in is supporting you in that arena, then that's kind of the first thing that I do with everybody,
Okay.
taking from where they are to where they want to go in whatever phase and stage of business and life they are in. So it always starts with that. And then the other things that seem more masculine or traditional business lingo, sales, marketing, all these things, which I wish I could rewrite the dictionary between the words.
Okay.
Because, they're it's just the way that we kind of learn how to do business is still very masculine. It's like lead prospecting, like as if people are like numbers, right? So
Mm.
I just bring in a different approach. To me, it's all connections and it's all relationships. And in order to build any business, it's always about the quality of the relationships that you develop over time. Now, can we develop more relationships with the world of social media? We can connect with more people, yes. But now that we have more access to people or our ideal people that we want to serve, we have to look at the ways that we structure the business in that way that we can build meaningful relationships with people and we can build trust along the way. And that's a journey, right? It's
Mhm.
not something that I just met you
Yeah.
today, Kat, and you met me, right? And we're kind of just, okay, we're going to become each other's clients. Most people have such a short outlook in business because they're always looking for like the next thing. But I give
Yes.
people more of the bigger vision between all these different things. Like, what is your why? What is your main purpose of what you're trying to accomplish? And how do we now connect this traditional dots between the marketing, the sales, the branding, all these systems that are supposed to work in harmony with each other? And you
Mhm.
don't go straight to sales because most people skip the branding and the marketing, which is always all about building your authority and adding value so that
Okay.
they can earn the sale. Most
Right.
people don't know how to connect all these different dots. So they're just doing it, they're frustrated because they don't have all the information. It's like you're
Right.
missing pieces of the puzzle. So that is my gift over time that I've learned is being that visionary, which is what I've in my experience is where I sit best to connect
Okay.
all these things for people. So once they have the bigger reason why they're doing what they're doing, building their business authentically and having natural conversations that are very organic. Like that's my ultimate goal, to teach people how to do this very organically, how to build the skills that are necessary to connect with others, to be vulnerable, to do your visibility, right? To share, right? To show up to serve. All the servant thing that always surrounds me because I find that, that is the best way to approach life. And plus, you don't want to build a business that feels, weird to you. Like, I don't want to wake
Mhm.
up every day and be like, okay, how many prospects am I going to go after today? Like, that is just like, I don't even want to wake up for that. But just shifting the language and shifting your perspective as to the bigger reason why, I'm like, how many people can I impact today? How many
Mm,
can I serve today? So that
yeah.
changes your whole approach to life, because then it removes me from the equation and my insecurities. And it
Mhm.
becomes about, okay, Kat's here, her audience is here. What can I do to share that I think will be helpful to them? And it's so much easier because I'm out of my head, I'm out of my insecurity, and now I'm just here present, sharing from my heart. And I always find that that's the best thing that you can do. So approaching business in your own human, organic, authentic way is kind of what I have done in my own business, and what
Mhm.
has helped me align two things, not only the impact, but also the income. Because the
Okay.
sole purpose of any business is to solve problems and generate cash flow. Without
Mhm.
cash flow, you cannot grow. You cannot
Right.
make the impact you're looking for. You cannot, hire people. You cannot, expand.
Right.
So bringing the two together, I think is very important. And that's what I guess makes me different. I've been
Mhm.
able to merge both worlds together. And now you can have both. You can have the impact and you can have the income, and you can build a business that allows you the freedom. But also, most importantly, that is your purpose, and it helps you feel fulfilled. I think that's the biggest success definition that I could attach to anything at this point in my journey.
Mhm. I love how you said to this point in your journey, and I agree. It's like that art of fulfillment. It is an art. Like it's learning about ourselves and growing over time. And when you were speaking, it reminded me of a training that I'd been in the mid 90s, like a sales training, where then it was very different than what you're talking about. They're like, just picture everybody you walk by with $100 bill on their head and go after them. And I'm just, so when I think of sales and I think of that, like I can feel the knots in my stomach. And people can sense that energy. Like you said, they don't want to be just a number. They don't want to be a dollar bill to someone else. They want to matter. They want to know that they matter and that there's value, like real value, not, someone's just scooping in for a quick sale and the one and done. So I love how you are shifting this energy and bringing more of the humanity into it, but still focused on income and impact, because if our businesses are just a hobby, it's not sustainable, right? We need to generate income in order to keep serving and also live. I mean, the reality is the world we live in, we also need to pay our bills and prepare for the future. So it sounds like you bring a really healthy balance of both aspects to your work.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. I think that's what I've learned along my journey that is sustainable, which is why I talk about legacy, because what's the point of you killing yourself or getting burned out over something? There's no destination. And there's a lot of inner work to do because we were not taught this, right? We always were taught like, okay, you grow business, there's a destination, you kind of reach a certain level and then you kind of do something with that. But if you are here for legacy, you have to work on the personal transformation of yourself in your business. And in order to sustain anything, you have to go at it slow. You have to go at it one step at a time. And that actually became a big affirmation for me, because I think it was because all the growth, like when you feel called to build something massive, it kind of scares you. So for me, it's like I've had to do a lot of work, not so much with the failures, because I've overcame a lot of that and I know it's all
nice.
learning. With no failure, I don't know what I don't know. So I have to take action, I have to do things. And I learned that experience, become wiser next time. But it's
Nice.
always, for some people, it's the fear of success. Like, oh my gosh, now I'm going to have more people under me, more pressure, more things, more impact.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like bringing it down to grounding yourself with it and saying, well, I will figure it out, whatever phase and stage. And thank God that the success does not come right away, because we're not prepared. It's like the lottery. Like, I mean, if you have not learned the habits, or if you don't even know what values are important to you or whatever, you're just going to spend it all. And you see all that all the time, right? So not using that to move forward the vision for your family or life or whatever situation you might be in. So anything quick goes away quick. Anything that's worth keeping, it's a process.
Right.
I've learned to enjoy the process. I've learned to love the process. And another thing that makes me really good is like identifying the patterns in the process so that
That's
I can
really
teach it
helpful.
to others and I could repeat it and I could improve it over time. It's always a process of continuous improvement for me.
Mhm. I appreciate that. And that's some of the work that I do and some of my colleagues do. They get really good, it sounds like you do, at looking at patterns, so that we can shift them or break them, especially the patterns that are not working, right? The ones that are working, expand them. But you seem really good at that. What is your legacy that you want to leave, Elona? Like,
Mhm.
at least at this stage of your journey, what comes to you?
Yeah, my legacy for now is to grow my business to make a certain amount of impact, to impact lives in the amounts that obviously I have clarified it for it to happen. And I want to help entrepreneurs to make the impact they want with their businesses by helping other people. I always
Mm,
purpose-driven entrepreneurs are the people that are going to change the world because we lead from the heart. And
yes.
we want to make a positive impact in our communities worldwide now. There's no more physical limits. So in this phase and stage, that's what I'm working towards in the next 10 years to build a really massive brand where we are able to make this impact. And then I already know like my path, my next phase is invest in businesses. Uh,
Mhm.
and
Nice.
definitely help and mentor them to grow just in another way. And then
Mhm.
I'll see what else is next. But it's always things that are exciting to me. And for me, it's like the growth is really exciting that every phase
Mm.
stage you're focusing on something else. And that becomes the pedestal or the trampoline to get you to the next thing and the next thing. Because I realize that as human beings, we're not very good in sitting idle with no
Right.
purpose. Like I tried that. I'm like, okay, I don't want to achieve anymore. I got tired of that. Like I just want to sit. But then I started being complacent. I started feeling unhappy. So I'm like, wait, there's always
Mm.
something we need to strive for as humans. And we can, and the channel of entrepreneurship allows you to solve problems. And as
Mhm.
human beings, we're always solving a problem, and then one problem opens up other problems. And it sounds negative, but for me, it's very like I strive in that because the more problems you could solve for other people with your own vocation or with your own skills, experience, or talent, or whatever you might want to call it, the more
Mhm.
fulfilled you'll be because that's the impact. You help some
Right.
overcome something. That's the definition of a problem, right? So that's why they need you, and you are able to help them in that area, whatever you have chosen. So.
That's awesome. And you must, like you said, you must thrive at doing some of this because we talked briefly behind the scenes. You said you have a couple of teenagers. You've also written what, at least 3 books. You have a podcast. You speak on stages. Where do you get the energy to do all that? Like you're on fire.
I honestly think it stems from my purpose because of
Okay.
all the inner work I have done. I just it's clear to me that
Hmm.
that's what I'm supposed to do. So all I do is stay aware, stay open, connect the dots, and then
Hmm.
just grab opportunities that align with me and just do it one step at a time. I mean, it might feel like a lot, but it hasn't come in one day. It's come step by
Yeah.
step, right? As I'm growing and evolving. So I think that's what the energy is. And I've also learned to honor my personal energy and honor
Nice.
my self-care times and all of that as well, because it's very easy for me to just kind of overwork and drive myself to the ground. But then it's like, again, going back to reminding myself that this is a journey. There's no destination. You're not getting anywhere because the life I have
Yeah.
now, the vision a couple of years ago, and I got here and look at me, I have it. I'm grateful, right? So
Hmm.
in those states, which is very important, I'm grateful for all the things that I have, but
Okay.
I'm a human being. So I'm also going to strive to evolve for tomorrow and after tomorrow and after tomorrow.
Mm.
And whatever comes to me, I'll just take it like that one step at a time. I've learned to be very intuitive. It's a big skill that I didn't know I had inside of me. So I've
Hmm.
learned to be very intuitive with connecting the right opportunities, the right people, the right dots, the right
Yeah.
strategy, the right, all of that. And I'm a lifelong learner. I'm always learning. The more I
Nice.
learn, the more I see that I don't know. I'm like, oh my God, there's learn. So I always keep myself, I guess, in the energetic state of positivity and just
Hmm.
strive for involvement and human impact and fulfillment. That's really, what keeps me going.
No, that's cool. And it sounds like because you really love it and you embody it and do it, it doesn't cause you stress, but it lights you up. So it's easier to just keep going, right? It's not a stressful job or business that you've created. I'm sure there's some healthy stresses in there, but something that's not overwhelming you, where you can just, it lights you up and you just do more and keep going and, to create that impact.
Yeah, and that's what I help people with, because I think once you find your niche in the world, once you find your thing, for me, I found my calling. I found the thing that I'm supposed to do here in the world. And I found that business, I was born for the business side of things. I was born to lead businesses, to help businesses, work with entrepreneurs. Like when I work with my entrepreneur audience or my corporation, it's like my eyes light up. It's like, this is my people, right? So you feel connected to certain things. And I now know that it's not by chance. So I very intentional into, okay, I'm supposed to be here. So I found the thing that I'm really good at, and I really connected to the purpose. So now I wish that for many people, but in order to find that out, you just have to take lots of action. I've done a lot of things. And then I realized, wait a minute, out of all those things, where is it that I sit, where it's effortless for me, where it's something that it comes naturally to me. And I just found out where I am smart. I have like this whole idea about, I think everyone is like brilliant. Human beings are brilliant. We just have to figure out of all the brilliance we have, because we can learn a lot of skills. We can also grow in areas, right? But there's something native that is like a bigger thing for us that we feel pulled towards. And that is where we are smart. So if we stay in that arena, in that area, that is where also our purpose is connected. So once you discover that, hold on to it and stay loyal to it, because if you have an intuition around it and you feel that that's your thing, then it's your thing.
Right. So it sounds like you do the opposite of what they taught us to do in school, like focus on all your mistakes, fix them all. I mean, there's a time and a place for that, but you're really helping people focus on their gifts and their strength and what calls them and drives them, and then capitalize on that, for themselves and for the greater good, even to create that impact.
Yeah, because I realized whatever we can do with negativity, we can do 20 times, a million times, tenfold with positivity, right? So yes, there's a million things I can pick apart and about myself and other people, right? But where is that leading me into? Nothing, right? There's no it doesn't lead you into anything. So it's like eventually kind of it just dies out, or if you feed into it, it's kind of just all the negative habits a lot of people have. So I've learned in my lifetime to do just that. With every opportunity, there's always positive and negative. Life is 50-50. You're not always going to be happy. There's always going to be negative emotions, right? So I've learned to kind of, grow through the negative side of things and learn and take away my lessons out of that. And I literally just journal all the time about lessons, like things I'm learning, because I want to document all of that and then focus on the positive, because we all know, with what you focus on grows. So, and I say that, if we focus on all the positive things, that is our gift. That is how we also solve other problems in the world. So yeah, it just feels like much more healthy, productive to me, my productive brain, to focus more on that, because then I could do better things or bigger things with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just came like a filtering, became a filtering process about, okay, that's not for me. I'm going to focus more on that. The more you focus on that, the more you find that on others. And the more you grow your awareness, the more you become the mirror for other people as well. So you just grow skills over time. Experience is very valuable. I highly value experience, life experience.
I do too. I'm glad that you said that. I mean, that you cannot learn or create certain things from a book. I mean, they're helpful. I'm a book junkie, but you need that experience, to refine, to reflect, to see what's working or feel what's working and move forward and make different decisions. You also said you've journaled a lot and you've written 3 books. Do you intend to write more books, or would you like to?
Yes, I love book writing. It's a legacy product. So for me, it's one of those things that lives beyond you. It's a breathing thing to me. There's a book. I write one a year. I am writing my fourth one now on
Oh,
leadership,
good.
on aligned leadership, what I've
Okay.
learned in the area of leadership. So yeah, I plan to write a book a year. I also have a planner for time management and productivity for a lot of entrepreneurs.
Mhm.
So yeah, I just love the process of writing and documenting my intellectual property, because I can create
Nice.
content. I create a lot of content online. I'm very present online, but
Mhm.
it's just different when you can package it in a book and give people a framework. And that's what I've
Okay.
done with my latest book. I pretty much wrote down my framework that I am now using to help people. So purpose-driven entrepreneurship. I just
Nice.
documented my framework that I help them grow legacy businesses in, and I was able to do it in 300 pages. So now anyone, even if I'm not there, they can read that, take action, and they have the information that they might be missing or trying to like piece together from all different angles.
Mhm.
That's kind of what my gift is. I'm a process girl. So I bring it all together and then I structure
Love
it
it.
out and I'm like, here you go. This is what you need. There's the map. Now go have your own experience and implement it, right? Because you still will have your own experience. No coach or mentor can give you, like, I'm giving you my life experience and I'm going to give you the framework, right, to shorten your
Mhm.
time and give you results, but you still have to go through your own journey of your trial and errors and failures and all of that. That's what's going to help
Mhm.
you grow. Like, I
Right.
can't do the growth for you, but I can give you the framework that I've learned over 20 years of an experience. And that's why
Mhm.
I value books and authors so much, because their knowledge that they put in a book, it's something they took them 20 years. So you're just condensing information in like
Mhm.
pages. And to me, that's like, let me get all the wisdom. Like, there's so much wisdom.
That's funny. I love that. It sounds like you have a really healthy balance of it though, like looking for the wisdom, pulling in your lived experience, your training. I mean, and you even on your website or your one of your pages that I looked up, you've been to Tony Robbins certified in like business mastery. Like you have this really well-rounded, holistic aspect to you that gives you the nuts and bolts and the strategy and the lived experience and the wisdom and just I'm assuming the processes you create from that really support people. Is there anything that we haven't touched on that you'd like to share with our audience about your work or legacy or anything that's coming up for you?
Maybe just like let people know that there's a limited potential inside of them, and the biggest hurdle is always believing in themselves, self-esteem,
Mm,
right? And
yeah.
then with every area of growth that you go through, even in my business, I could see it. Now I'm in a different phase, and there's new fears. There's always going to be
Mhm.
fears. We're human beings, right?
Yeah.
Well, just, sometimes when we look at people on the outside, we perceive them so highly or we admire them.
Mm,
And now with the age of social media, it's so easy to just kind of do that. But just learn that, use that information, reflect back in you. And if there's something that you want to do, you have the capability. Otherwise, it wouldn't even come in around your awareness that that's something that you wanted to do, right? And
mhm,
if the other people, if you're looking at others or kind of using role modeling as a way to kind of understand, wait a minute, that's, this is something that I could do, right? Believe in that and not to let fear hold them back, because fear is
mm,
just your friend. It's always part of the process. And this is where I came up with the vision of the life school, because I'm like, wait a minute, there's a lot of life experience and we need to learn life skills so that we
mhm,
can be successful in our own way of a definition, so we can align success not from the outside in, but from inward, on the outside. So I would say, yeah, that's what I feel like is the final message to share with the audience is every phase and stage of growth will require, is going to be fearful, but just stay with the process, stay loyal to the process, because you realize the more you do it, you beat the fear, you come out on the other side and you just kind of get over that. You're like, oh, okay, that wasn't so bad. And you grow skills and experience, which is why I said I value experience a lot, because
mm,
the more experience you have, the more now you could catch that pattern. And next time you're fearful about something, you're like, wait a minute, this feels familiar, but I got over that, so I can get over this. So then you'll always, if you just keep repeating that process, you'll always be evolving and doing new
mhm.
and expanding, if that's what you choose towards your purpose. I don't think it's the ultimate purpose. I think we have a purpose, but it's grow through the different phases and stages of life. So whatever you chose at that stage, you identified that's your values, your vision, your mission, that's your purpose for that moment. And later on, it could change because your journey changes. The things that come to you changes, the awareness changes. So your vision keeps expanding slowly. So just stay open to that. There's no stuck to like you think it was.
I really appreciate that because life is about this change and evolving and growing, not staying stuck and stagnant. And also what you said about fear, like use the fear, learn from it, don't have it be a limiter. So I can appreciate that. If people want to find out more about you or more about the life school that you have or Life School Mastery, where can people find you?
Yeah, so they can go to my website. That's pretty much a small hub of all the things I'm working on. Instead of kind of like looking for me on social media. So it's going to be at elonaloparicoaching.com, and they can, I also post a lot of resources on there. If they're on Facebook, they can join my group. It's called the Life School Elona Lopari, and I also post a lot of content for people to kind of help them align their life and business on purpose and learn about all these different things that they need to learn to connect their bigger vision of the impact they want to make.
Awesome. I love it. And I appreciate that. It's also in the show episode note. We'll have your website. We can have the Facebook page for people that want to find you. But I really appreciate your time, your presence, your energy, Elona. You're a beautiful soul doing really big, awesome work in the world. And I appreciate all the listeners that have been here with us today or listening to the replay. Hope that you have extracted the gems of wisdom for yourself. Go out there and build your legacy and create your impact in the world. We will see you next time. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.